Today we're going to be talking about electro-etching. Electro-etching is a chemical process through which an electric current is used to etch patterns or create holes in a piece of metal. So first let's take a look at the lab setup. Here I have a glass dish within which I have two pieces of metal. The first is a stainless steel spoon, and the second is the piece of metal that I want to etch, which in my case is carbon steel. These are both placed inside of a salt water bath, or a saturated salt solution. The stainless steel spoon is connected to the black wire, as it is the cathode, and the metal that I want to etch, the carbon steel, is connected to the red wire because it's the anode. As soon as I turn the power supply on, bubbles start to form. This is a sign that the reaction is progressing because the electric current is being applied. I chose an electric current of around 5 volts, which seemed to work fine for our purposes. As the reaction progresses, we start to see this goopy green stuff precipitating out of the solution. To understand what that is and why it's being formed, let's take a closer look at the reaction and how it works. The etching process works in the same principle as an electrolytic cell. So here we have a simplified drawing of the lab setup. I have a glass tray, I have the battery connected to the anode and cathode, and inside of the water I have a salt solution, so positive sodium ions and negative chloride ions. As the reaction runs, current flows from the negative terminal to the positive terminal, so electrons flow from positive to negative. As electrons leave the iron on the carbon steel, that leaves behind positive iron 2+ and iron 3+ ions. These ions dissolve into the solution, forming iron 2 chloride and iron 3 chloride. This is what we see as the green precipitate. Meanwhile, the electricity provides enough energy to split water into hydrogen and oxygen ions, and the hydrogen ions spontaneously form hydrogen gas, or H2. At the cathode, the chlorine ions, or the chloride ions, combined in order to form chlorine gas. These two reactions are what we see as the bubbling. At the end of the process, we can clearly see that anything not covered by the paint on the anode has been etched away, resulting in a dull gray color and lots of holes and pocketing. So that's electro-etching. Hope you enjoyed. Please keep in mind that many of the chemicals produced in the etching process have serious health effects.